What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode two of At the Closing Table with Mike and Shelby. Today, we're just going to chat a little bit about uh, Shelby, our business development rep on our team at Whitaker Mortgage Team, her journey from teaching to this business and how we work well together. Before we get started, please do like, subscribe, comment. Love to hear your feedback and get some reviewers. So, first, Shelby, welcome officially to your first episode on screen. Um, so you were your profession, your professional career started off as a teacher, and then you made the jump to mortgages,
Yep.
which is quite the contrast.
Right, very much.
So tell me a little bit about that journey, that decision, what kind of led you there, all that stuff.
What started out as like a really unofficial social media manager, for lack of a better term, kind of jumped into it that way just to help market and promote your business that way. And then I think little by little, I just took on a little bit more and took on a little bit more. Learned more about mortgages than I ever thought I would know. And then we kind of just decided to take it full time.
Okay. Okay. So what was that kind of final decision that you decided? So you were teaching for what, 13,
Almost 14 years, yeah.
14 years, right? That's a long time.
It's a very
That's
long
pretty
time.
much your entire professional career. So what went into that decision in you deciding mortgages, this space in real estate was something you wanted to do full time and kind of quit the one thing you've been spent almost half your life working on?
More than half my life, but I appreciate the mention there. I guess it's kind of two part. Coming into it in an unofficial role on social media, um, kind of gave me a little idea of what it was, and at the same time, it was when you decided to really start growing your brand. Um, and then, for anybody who doesn't know, we're married, so it made it easy for me to jump in, kind of I don't know if the term feet first, I guess, to help support and help promote your business in the way that you didn't always have time to do. So that was kind of part one. Part two, world of education has changed a lot, continues to change every single day, and it was not quite what it was when I started. The things that I once loved about teaching, unfortunately, went away. And so it kind of just became a job at a certain point. And then I think last fall, having the real conversation of coming here full time, um, wasn't really a question of if I wanted to do it. It was just a matter of when I was going to do it and be able to do it full time.
Okay. So, what are some things you learned as being a teacher, educating people, that you think have translated well into this new step where you're doing marketing, you're helping realtors, new realtors, existing realtors with their business, helping me with my business? What are some things that you kind of picked up along with teaching that has helped you kind of bridge that gap into the world of mortgages?
I mean, a big part of my role is still educating people, whether it's educating potential clients on different products that we might offer, or helping realtors educate the clientele that they're trying to market to. So there's a big part of that. There's also the creative aspect where I taught virtually for 8 years, and a lot of digital materials that we would make. There's a creative aspect that goes into teaching, but there's also a creative aspect that goes a lot into our marketing. And so, kind of coming into it with that experience made it really easy, pretty simple, because I kind of get to do the same thing, just different material that I'm putting out there.
That's awesome. So, when it comes to now your full scope mortgage industry, what are some of the things that now that you're here, now that you're in the thick of it, um, do you feel kind of passionate about or kind of gets you excited when we're assisting people with the biggest purchase of their life, when you're assisting realtors that are helping these clients achieve a dream? What are some things that you find most gratifying now that you're in this whole new role?
I mean, I think the thing that we have kind of honed in on is building personal connections. So, networking and really getting to know people outside of what they do, whether they're a realtor or another real estate professional. It's been nice to build connections with people who I wouldn't have met otherwise. So I'm really excited to continue to meet new people and then really just focus on the people that we do actively work with, really just helping them, get closer and closer to their goals in any way that we are able to do.
Okay. So as you mentioned, we are in fact married. So married, living together, of course, working together now. We work in separate offices, of course, but it's a dynamic, right? It can be, I wouldn't say, sometimes challenging. So, as a husband and wife duo, and I'll speak from my side too. What are some of the things that you enjoy the most, or some of the things you thought are a little more challenging than you anticipated, and that we have to now continue to work on and evolve to make sure we're giving our best foot forward for our clients?
I mean, I like that, it's kind of difficult because on the one hand, it's nice to be able to have the ability to chat about whatever it is that we have upcoming at any point. But also on the flip side of that, it's also important to maintain some sort of work life balance. So, there are days where our dinner time conversation might go to mortgages or marketing or whatever else we might be working on. And most of the time, I think that that's okay because that's sometimes our only time to really connect and chat about work because you stay so busy. But I still, always in the back of my mind is always trying to keep the boundary in place, because, so much of what we do during the day is so intertwined, even if we're not actively working in the same office, that it's nice to know that at a certain point or on a Saturday, maybe, it's not mortgage talk and it's really just traveling or doing that daily household stuff. So kind of two parts. I enjoy being able to have the ability to chat and talk about it whenever we want to, but I also think that we've done a pretty decent job of establishing and maintaining a good boundary on knowing when to clock out, knowing when to be off the clock.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's when to take off the husband or the wife hat when you're talking about business, because that sometimes when you're speaking to one another, you realize you are married and you have this really ingrained, deep relationship with one another, and it can kind of, I wouldn't say seem not unprofessional, but go beyond the bounds of what you would normally, anticipate with having someone who's just a coworker, right? So that's definitely something we've gotten extremely better at. Was a challenge to begin with, um, but the overall, great things is like you said. Now we're a team, like trying to accomplish, the same goals, different areas, of course, but now we're totally impacting each other in a positive way and helping each other grow,
Yeah.
not just personally, spiritually and all that stuff, but also professionally. And we know, when you have your teaching, you had your bad days, and mortgages, I have my bad days, and I come and talk to you about it, and vice versa. Now we can kind of sympathize and empathize, relate to one another as we're seeing, that dynamics unfold behind the scenes with one another. Kind of gets allow us to have another understanding, when we come home and we have a long day,
Right.
and that you can appreciate, what you're kind of going through. So I think overall, it's been awesome, and gets me excited every day that we can tag team, um, be creative together, and go out there and try to help as many people as we possibly
Yeah.
can. Like I said, achieve the American dream.
Right.
So awesome. We want to take every Friday to celebrate. Right? There's always a reason to celebrate. Even if you're having a rough day, we want to show some gratitude and celebrate in things we've accomplished. So a little segment we're going to call, wins on the rocks, right? We're going to toast to one another and toast to what we've accomplished this week and getting us, hopeful and excited for the following week. So for you, first of all, toast to our first official podcast together.
To drink. So
Um,
that could be that.
but, you know, um, even if the week hasn't gone always our way, there's always something we can find,
Right.
right?
Always
That where we can
recognizing the good.
say, yeah, wow, this was great, appreciative. We're so blessed where we're at right now. So, for you, what are some things this week, um, either big, small, doesn't matter, that are wins for you?
I don't know. We have a couple. We've been working really hard at redecorating and redoing your office specifically for, being able to have a video space. And we're like 95% of the way there. So I'm calling that a pretty big win. Launching the podcast is, of course, the big win. We've been talking about it for a minute and trying to work out all the, fine details. More personally, more maybe just for me. Also kind of connecting and just building relationships with a few realtors that we've met along the way, new to the business, and they are motivated and they're, have a really fresh, positive outlook. And I'm looking forward to watching them grow and all of that. So that makes me really excited too.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So yeah, for me, yeah, the podcast is great.
Mhm.
Obviously, we're almost there. We're still inching our way closer to just increase, how well it's set up. We're going to probably learn and learn and learn as we go through each of these episodes. We have helped quite a few first-time home buyers close this week. I had a real estate agent, telling me as they're doing the walkthrough that she wishes I was a part of the walkthroughs because as a lender, we kind of miss some of those exciting
Right.
times,
The
where they
celebratory.
do that walkthrough before closing, and the client is just jumping up and down for joy.
Yeah.
So, realtors out there, I'd love for you to send me videos whenever, post them on social media. Love to see the excitement behind the scenes because we are lenders, we're the ninjas, in the background, trying to get the job done. So definitely always reason to celebrate there, and we have a lot of upcoming new buyers coming in for next week, and today we're celebrating our wonderful niece's birthday. Super excited about that. But yeah, always appreciative of the things we're accomplishing, going to continue to accomplish, and also a win is our first pod together.
Okay.
I can't wait to grow and grow and grow from here. So, having said that, appreciate you,
You too.
appreciate y'all, and until next time.